What is going on, guys? Welcome in to the scope. We're back, and I'm already on the wrong screen. I love it here. What's going on? Leave me alone. I'm a heart patient. How are you guys doing today? I am one of your co-hosts, Crash, joined by Blue and Buff. What's up, man?
How's it going? How's it going?
Good to see you guys.
It's going all right. I'm still alive.
Good old Monday.
Yeah.
Good old Monday.
Made it. Had another emergency room visit on Saturday. So,
did you really?
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So they got me on these meds to slow my heart down so it doesn't go into AFib, and it slowed her down a tad too much.
Too much, huh?
It was like skipping beats, like just beat, nothing.
What does it feel like when
it feels like I have
happens?
to cough, but it's my heart tightening up. Yeah, it's not.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was bad. Saturday was bad. Saturday was real bad. But I've come down off the meds a little bit, and it's not near as bad. It's like better today, but dude, Saturday,
what was your heart rate when you were low?
It was like 50 something.
Oh, okay.
And so that wasn't terrible, but
yeah.
But like it just would like
you're up and about, you know.
It was totally just like I'm gonna take this one off and just set out for a beat, you know, and then start back up again.
Yeah,
it's so weird feeling, man.
You think you're gonna do the you said you were gonna do last time, like looking at options for like the shocking it back into rhythm and some other things, right?
Well, they had to shock it back into the rhythm the earlier time I was in the hospital, but now they're gonna do a ablation procedure where they like run a catheter up my leg into my heart, and they burn the parts of the heart that cause the erroneous signals, and it's supposed to fix it.
Right. Okay. Yep. I've had
yeah.
I've known people like all the dudes at the gym who had stuff like that done years back. So yeah, it definitely seems to work for them.
I think it's gonna be all right, but
good.
So yeah, that's the story here. Sorry to bring it down, or I was just like, it was a wild weekend. You asked me how I was going, and I told you. Shoot. But yeah, how about you guys? Hope it's better for you guys. How you been?
All good here. Had a pretty chill weekend. Was up north with some buddies, and then kind of watched a little bit of the Super Bowl last night. Was pretty happy that the Chiefs lost, so that's good.
It was a rough one out there, man. It was a rough one. Yeah, Blue, how about you? What are you cooking up over there? You're always cooking something up. You're always cooking.
This week it was pretty chill. I think I was just Saturday was kind of a blur. I was just so tired Saturday, so I didn't really do much. But Sunday again, pretty much same things. Went to the parents' house, ate some good food, hanged out with the family, watched a little bit of the Super Bowl. We had to leave around 8-ish, so I just figured I'd find out who wins later. Saw the whole shebang on the halftime show. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I don't really care too much about that drama that's happening with I kept saying it all over Twitter. It's like Kendrick and Drake. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I don't know what that is either.
You know, so I was like, all right, this is it. I mean, I enjoyed seeing Samuel L. Jackson in a
like Uncle Sam tux or something. Yeah, he was like,
that was kind of funny. And then so I was more I told my brother though, I was like, no matter what, if the Eagles win, they're riding. If they lose, they're riding. Doesn't matter.
And they did.
And they did. And instead of throwing down streetlights. So no matter what, Eagles are riding. But now it was just interesting to see some of the differences too in like the commercials of this year compared to last Super Bowl too. I was kind of like paying attention to that. And then
it feels like there's just a shift in the country lately.
Just a little shift in the patriotic win around here, which is cool. I mean, it was cool. It was like I didn't realize that no other president went.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was wild to me too.
I was like, no, not a single one. Not even Bush. Like,
yeah,
that's surprising as well.
No one.
And you know what? That I think is what did it. Is Taylor Swift's voodoo magic couldn't work with the Chiefs because the president was there, and it was just too much America.
Counteracted it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Could be true.
Too much winning going on, you know.
Cross mojo.
When I first saw saw that first touchdown, or like it was supposed to be a touchdown, but his knee didn't make it into the end zone. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
right at the beginning, I was like, "Yep, this is Eagles for sure, 100%." If they decided to let them go past them that quick, yeah, it's gonna be a long
yeah,
game.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, man.
that's pretty much it.
I played Rainbow Six Siege again this weekend for like the first time in a very, very
I
long
saw
time.
I saw the news on that, and I'm just like, why?
Siege 2.
Well, it's not even really a Siege 2, is it?
Yeah, and that's what's making me mad about the whole thing, and we'll get into it because for those of you who are longtime listeners of the program, you know what's up. We talked about this very thing last year at this time because right now the Six Invitational is going on, and we literally talked about it and what they said. So we'll get into that later in the program for sure. The other thing I'm kind of excited about, I'm nervous and excited about, is like I'm gonna have to completely like revamp my entire content creation strategy. We'll see. I'll be talking with Blue and Buff to kind of see where the podcast fits into all that. But with having to return to the office, I'm gonna be spending 2 hours of my day driving. So that's gonna like
That's fun.
shoots a lot of my content creation in the butt. So I have to figure out what to do with the podcast, but at the same time, I'm probably not going to be able to make as many like FPS like news videos and stuff. So I have to revamp that. But what I think I'm going to try to do is because I'll still have time in the evenings to stream. I got a stream PC on the way. They had some cheap ones at Costco with the 40 series cards.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, I'm going to try one time to go like all in on streaming. I'm going to try, since I'll have another machine, I can multi-stream to more platforms. And I already have a bunch of like AI bots and stuff I'm working on, new motion overlays and like nice clean motion transitions and stuff I'm working on, and vertical for YouTube and TikTok. And like, so I'm like trying to go like totally all in on streaming for a little bit, and maybe even try to like, I don't, you had some luck with this, Blue. I was going to talk to you if we may talk content creation for a little bit.
In the beginning,
how you do, you were doing really well with your stalker streams, and didn't you kind of like go into your streams with kind of like a plan, like a YouTube video, kind of like today we're like doing this
so
mod.
it was like I always made sure that it was nice when I would stick to a certain game or a mod specifically, because it was just continuing that storyline within the mod itself. It's just like a playthrough, and then sometimes I'd have to go out and find another mod. But yeah, I would actually just start the stream and have an intro and talk like if it was a YouTube video, and then I would talk to chat here and there as well too, to make it more interactive. The thought being that if people watching think they're watching a video, then it's like, oh, it's actually a live stream. And then they hear me talking to chat. Oh, I might want to stop by next time, and I know he's there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or at whatever schedule you have.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of works a lot more for YouTube. Not so sure on Twitch, because Twitch is like there's not really a way to go back and watch a broadcast perfectly, or like in like a category list.
Yeah,
So
it's
YouTube
there. No one does it
that.
because it's like you have to get deep within the bowels of a channel to find a Twitch mod. Nobody does that at all.
I know Twitch did like they have like if you go on mobile, it's like a shorts platform, but it's like just active live streams that you can just go through. But yeah, no, I definitely when it comes to like streaming consistently, like you have to be on a schedule.
Yeah, and I stream almost every evening, so it's like I was thinking of doing stuff like maybe like kind of like ABI challenges or something, like run a weird gun for a night, or like run a map and try to do some kind of challenge or something.
Yeah, definitely brainstorm for sure, and like you got to give yourself a challenge, I feel like. So it's like, and of course Stalker gives you a challenge every time you play, so it's kind of just like what's next kind of thing at that point. So it would differ for that game, but yeah,
I agree. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna take like a whole day off work and like just spend an entire day like trying to build it out, try to get it. I have like a whole document on like what I want to add to it, and try to make it run. It's going to be a disaster. You guys are going to want to be there for the first stream because it's going to be. We've been doing this show a long time and it still has problems. So I don't even know.
Imagine now adding a whole nother machine into the mix.
It's going to be insane. But yeah, just a preview for today's show. I reckon topics today, we're going to discuss a little bit of the Delta Force campaign. I'm kind of going to be learning about it as we go. There's quite a few little things to talk about with Arma. Still a big topic for everyone in the FPS genre. There were some new Battlefield tweets, so Battlefield hype, everyone pre-order, get right on it. It's back, Buff. Battlefield's back. And then, like we mentioned earlier, Rainbow Six Siege 2, the Invitational's going on. Got me the Siege bug. I played a little bit. It's like I thought. It still puts me in with Diamonds and Champs, and it's really hard. But it was pretty cool to be back. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Before we get into the topics, there are tons of ways you can support the show, mainly being a friend, telling a friend, share it around, liking the video if you are here or watching it after the fact, as well as sharing the audio podcast, and give us a 5-star review if you have a second. Don't do it while you're driving. Kevin, get that done. And we would really
like, what?
Kevin's like, no, what, me? So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you always. We had a wildly big audio download week last week, so thank you guys for that. Really appreciate it. And let's talk about Delta Force campaign. What is it? What does it mean, and how much does it cost? Just off the top, I don't even know.
To be honest, I just saw the release date was on the 21st, which is a day I won't be here, so be in a different state. So I'll be watching some live streams for sure. I think there's like 6 chapters from what I could tell, but it's coming out on the 21st. And that's the one thing I'm really just looking forward to. Is not even like the storyline or the way the game plays, because I'm sure it's gonna play like Delta Force. I mean, even just watching the trailer, hearing some of the hit markers and stuff like that was like from Delta Force. I was like, kind of weird, but I want to see how it runs, because this is specifically on UE5, and UE5 releases have not had such a great track record. And then this only has, like I said, about 6 chapters, and I want to see how the story's told this time. And again, I saw a tweet. It was funny because like Tacti replied to it. It was a it was a Somali Twitter account that replied like, "Oh, great, another American thing talking about Somalia, or about about making video games about Somalia again." It's like, actually China's making this one, so it's like based off of real events. So it's just
community
funny.
notes.
Yeah, good old Tacti was a community note right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I want to see what their take on it is. But yeah, it is co-op as well too, so you get to play with friends as well too. So that'd be interesting to see. I know like then the last mission is like the Mogadishu Mile, which is like, how is that gonna be put into a level? Like, do we have to run the mile in game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably just gonna be like a crazy like a fight to the exfil, basically, because I
pretty
mean,
much
they were still in the book. I read the book too, and obviously in the movie you see it, but they were engaging in a lot in firefights for the people that were running behind the convoys that time. So
yeah, I remember it just like it was. I think it wasn't exactly a mile. They just called it the Mogadishu Mile. But it felt like forever because they were just getting shot at the entire time on the way back. So
yeah,
and the campaign is free to play, unless I'm mistaken. The game's free to play. I'm pretty sure the campaign is free to play, is what they've previously said. So correct me if I'm wrong, but so that's good.
That was the original question. Yeah,
the campaign's not free.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's paid.
Oh, that's unfortunate. How much is it?
They haven't said.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's kind of a bummer. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see then. I was under the assumption from what they previously said that it was going to be free to play, but I guess not.
No, they've said like the whole time it will cost.
GameSpot that it was going to be a paid campaign. I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
And as for GameSpot put out an article 2 hours ago, and it said as for how much the campaign will cost, Team Jade has not officially said how much it'll cost.
Okay.
I think we had this conversation before because I think I was like maybe because it's only like 6 levels. So it's
yeah,
like
it's
I mean
6 chapters.
I couldn't see you paying more than $20 if you really wanted to. But this is Team Jade, this is Timmy, this is Tencent technically. So, I mean, it could go up to 25, maybe even 30. They might look at it and be like, "Hey, this is UE5, put a lot of work into this. We think it's worth $30, but I think it's at least $20 max in my opinion for just 6 levels. Also, depending on how long those levels are too. It is co-op as well too, so they might kind of throw that into the mix. Do you get skins also from the campaign transferred over to multiplayer if you complete the campaign, something like that? There's just different variables that they might try to increase the price.
Yeah, they said they put a lot of work into it. It was tough to make, I remember. And the Shadow, the lead developer, lead producer, the guy that always talks on all the streams, he even said that it's not going to be perfect. So that was kind of wild to say, like you're releasing
Yeah,
it for price and
and it's not.
it's
I will
it's not going to be
say,
complete or done or perfect. I
like
don't know.
seeing when I was watching the trailer and just seeing the atmosphere that this is in and the detail and the lighting and the graphics, it's like,
Mhm.
man, I wish there was a game like that was originally Delta Force, not what Delta Force X Hawk Ops used to
Yeah.
be, so
I
it's
was
just
just
like,
thinking the same exact thing. I was like, the
yeah.
campaign looks way better than the multiplayer variant of the game that we're playing. Which I don't mind how it looks, but this has a much more uh, grittier look. I'll say
Well,
more.
that and also just like a very cohesive look. Everything
Mhm,
fits in the era, it fits in the atmosphere. Whereas like Delta Force,
yeah.
I get it, it's supposed to be the future,
Mhm,
but you have like some people rocking like in the extraction mode, you have like the NPCs rocking like just basic AKs,
yeah.
and then here you are as like an operator that can shoot a recon arrow or set up a shield and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
just weird.
And I can see based on what we're seeing in the trailer. It's hard to tell if you said there's going to be 6 chapters. I wonder where they're. So you said that the last one is going to be the Mogadishu Mile, and then I wonder where they're going to start the campaign off.
Yeah, I had the list here. I'm trying to find it.
I
Because
did too.
you can definitely pick out some of the things if you watch the movie and or even the book. Obviously, the book starts you know prior to where the movie starts. There's a lot going on leading up to the actual event, but you can see in the trailer it looks like you are one of the Delta Force operators that goes in um to that compound there and captures the VIP targets, or I guess
Yeah,
the guys
I
that you're
got them right here. I just had to the
okay.
production team. The first one is the close quarters combat. Chapter 1 Irene, which
Oh,
is the
okay.
call sign that they said when
Okay. So
uh
they deploy the mission
leaving,
go.
yeah, deploying exactly. Motherfucking Irene. Love that.
Yeah, that's
Escort the convoy. I'm guessing you already have now all the VIPs in the Humvees and
mm-hmm.
trucks, so you're escorting those guys, and then it turns to a nighttime battle, which is going to be cool to see
Yep. So the first
how
bird
that
goes
looks.
down. First bird goes down probably in two. Um, you can
Yeah,
see
I'm not
in
seeing a
the
3 for some reason. I see 1, 2, 6, 4, 5, 7. What?
yeah, I don't see a three either. So
There's
Are
okay,
they
6
so
are they
photos. It
not?
might be the bottom.
I'm so
uh,
confused.
The bottom's cut off.
oh, is it
No, not. Why is it cut off on there?
1, 2, 6, 4, 5, 7? So that's yeah.
We have a
Okay.
localization translation issue.
Last line of defense, chapter 5, Valor. That's where it's probably Sugar and what is it, Gordy, right? Am I wrong? The two snipers who are holding down that second Black Hawk, right?
Dude, if we have to play that fight knowing that you're gonna die, that's gonna be so sad. I'm gonna feel some kind of way.
Yeah. Then you have the Lost Convoy. Okay, so that's when they can't get to the first crash site. They're going around in circles because everything's blocked off. 5, we said. 6, is at night. So that's probably, if you remember in the movie, there's a part there where they throw the IR flares on the rooftops and the little birds make the gun runs. So it's
The gun run,
probably
yeah.
around that where you're held up across the street there in the Moody Smith. So the question is, what is 3, right? That might be maybe where the first bird goes down or something.
I think it's probably in order, but they just messed up on 6. I don't know, because chapter 6 should be 3, because it goes 1, 2, 6, 4, 5, 7.
Yeah, but the way the story goes, or the way the events happen, the night
So
helicopter wouldn't happen till near the end. That would
yeah.
be so 6 looks correct. That would happen before 7 because in what I'm looking at chapter 6, right? That's kind of like probably the very end of 6 is when the convoy finally gets there and they start
Mhm.
extracting out of that.
And then the Mogadishu Mouse. So I'm actually
Yeah.
looking at from IGN here, and this was posted on the beginning of the year.
I
So this
made a
is a
video
bit
about
while
this when they
ago.
talked about it.
Yeah,
But I can't remember.
but it's like, but specifically, it's cool. It's interesting because it goes. They say there's, I don't know if it's maybe one chapter, but multiple missions inside the chapter, and they're also not releasing exactly
Mm,
what chapter or mission 3 would be.
mhm.
They just talked about it. They didn't actually like reveal it too much. But yeah, you're right. So the first one is getting to the hotel. Second one is escorting the convoy. Third one is apparently a crowded, hostile town with the tagline "Urban Warfare," and the goal is to secure your teammates inside this dense town. So curious
So
about
yeah,
that
that's
section. Is that
I'm
like, is that the
I'm a
where the machine gunners were?
yeah,
Maybe.
I'm assuming that's where the one chalk splits off to try and get to crash site 1, and the ranger chalk is pinned down. Yeah, and then they take like they're pinned down with what Captain Steel there, and they take a small group to continue with Delta to the crash site, I believe. So it's
Yeah.
probably you fighting on foot to the crash site.
And then apparently mission 4 will go back to the gameplay of mission 2. Which then apparently mission 5, it says this one's interesting because it says it introduces yet another style of combat, aerial combat.
I,
So I'm curious if we'll actually be the ones piloting the little birds
Yeah, it
in this
might
one,
be. That'd be pretty cool.
which would be kind of, yeah. I mean, I suck at flying in Delta Force, so this is gonna be very fun. Um, I never chose a helicopter. I let other people do that.
I haven't even
And
tried it.
then the mission 5 will be apparently the last line of defense, fighting by the crashed Blackhawk, and then 6 and 7. So 6 is the night mission, and then 7 is the Mogadishu Mile, which they say will be a memorable one. So I'm excited to see what that one is. But again, the more I hear about it, the more I see what they're putting into it. Also, what Crash said earlier of that, like the fact that they said that it's gonna be imperfect.
that was
A
weird.
little worried. Yeah, but then also it's like, yeah, why couldn't they just put this into a game? Into the
Yeah,
Yeah,
multiplayer
what if
campaign,
this was the
you know?
game, man? Like, what if this was the extraction mode was on this map in this setting and like, you know?
Because like to be
that'd be
fair,
cool.
I think we could maybe, it's like what would first of all, what would we be talking about if we didn't have Delta Force right now?
What if-
And what if they took, like, if they took their time and instead of going down that future route, they just started doing this more, So it'd be interesting to
Right.
see. But
Yeah, it would be cool if they expand after this, if they expanded and like made
because they
this
already have the Car
an
15 in
extraction
the
mode.
game, they have
And I think the
variant.
M16 too, maybe. I
They
think.
even
Can't
have bump
remember.
helmets in the extraction mode, which is like low tier gear,
Yeah.
but they have Delta Force bump helmets. So it's
Yep.
like,
What's weird? A lot of people are excited about it because of the setting and everything like that, and UE5 and the gameplay looks cool. But I have a little bit of trepidation with it because of them saying it's not perfect. It being on UE5, them not saying how long it is, and them not giving a price. And it's
yeah,
just like a
that,
week away, and there's like
yeah,
none of
not
that's
saying how
been
long it is,
revealed.
all that. And yeah, I worry about it as well too. I'm not. I'm excited to see the story. I'm not excited to see the unoptimization that this campaign might have.
Hopefully,
Specifically.
since it's not multiplayer, I guess it's co-op, but hopefully since it's not multiplayer, it won't be as so bad with
Yeah.
Right.
netcode stuff and server having to keep track of everything. But yeah, so what they say, the 21st?
Yep.
21st.
That'll be after my birthday, and I'll be 38.
Hey.
Can these birthdays just stop? I'm good. Can I stop? I'm like,
This on that. I was like, dude, just stop growing, man. Stop it.
I'm done. I'm good.
No more.
Cut it off. Be sweet. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I just, man, I just haven't been playing this as much. I don't know. How have the Steam charts been? Did you guys hear that stuff with Delta Force? There were a couple creators that made videos. I put them in my watch later, but I didn't get to them yet, where they think that a lot of the positive reviews are from bots.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some like,
I mean, maybe there's looking at the Steam charts right now, it's pretty healthy. It's at 24-hour peak, 98,000 players. So I mean,
still hanging at 100K.
it's still up there.
Yeah, it's doing.
I think
doing good
until the next Battlefield comes out. We'll see if that stays.
Most
likely it won't. But
man, I got a weird. I just have a weird feeling about the game.
It's still sitting at mixed reviews right now too, which is I know a lot of the main issues was because of the original like kernel level and stuff like that. So I know that brought it down a little bit. A lot of people also still, I mean, this is like literally they still don't like the shield guy as well too. Cheaters can also be a thing. I'm not seeing so much. And then again, I haven't really played myself too much, so but
yep. Alrighty. I agree. Cheater there.
We'll have to wait and see.
Dude, what was that? Chewy put a video. I think it was Chewy put a funny video in my Discord about a guy like trying to decide what FPS game to play. And he would like cover over Tarkov. He's like, do I want to get molested by cheaters? Then he'd look at like Call of Duty. Do I want to get molested by cheaters? Then it was like he hovered over Valorant. He's like, this is just like this game. He hovered over CS2, but it's just silly. And then like, so he basically talked about like how all the FPS games are like chalked for different reasons. It was really funny. Like just the minds, I've been in that mindset of trying to decide what to play, and like everything's just like cheater infested or stupid or for kids or like Fortnite or whatever, you know. It's so weird.
I saw it.
It's a spot.
I saw just kind of going to the cheater thing. I saw I think Charlie Intel tweeted last night. They said Chiefs offense right now, and it was a photo of the Ricochet anti-cheat logo.
Oh, it was fit.
I saw that. Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Oh man, yeah, it was funny. All right, yeah, it was funny in my Discord. It made me laugh because I've been there. Just like you cycle through all the games, and you're like, no.
Maybe don't play games. I played some RTS on Saturday. I forgot to say that. Like, there's some RTS games.
Is that code?
Like I'm just real-time strategy.
Oh, I thought it was a dirty word. I don't even know what it would be. Play Farm Simulator. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me to be a full-time trucking creator. I'll do it. I'll freaking do it, man. Yeah. What kind of real-time strategy did you play? Is that?
There's a few that me and my buddies launched up. Actually, two of them you could go first person. One of them is called Call to Arms. And it's like a game where it's kind of third person. Actually, you can do your commander stuff, and then you can go third person. And then another one that we tested out some more was Silica, which is,
I remember that.
Funny enough, also partnered up with Bohemia Interactive, the creators of Arma. You know, so
interesting.
You can also go first person in that as well too. So kind of cool.
It is crazy how big of a deal Arma is, like if you think about it, the franchise as a whole, because of what spawned out of Arma. DayZ came out of Arma. You could make a case that Battle Royales and PUBG came out of Arma because, you know, Arma mod was to H1Z1, King of the Hill, and then into PUBG. So like Arma has fostered like some of the kind of fostered this one of the biggest earliest survival games as well as BR. So it's kind of crazy.
I did see it was funny. That was a video just real quick because it was someone made a milsim event and an actual milsim map with working guns and airstrikes in VR chat. That very cringy VR game with furries and anime people. They somehow took Arma models, imported them into the engine, and are now doing milsim events in VR chat. It's basically VR Arma. And I might want to go check it out, but I get so sick doing VR, man. I can't.
Oh, that stinks.
That's what you said. You get all messed up.
Man, it's something. It's like boat sickness. Like if I'm not on the boat for like years pretty much, or days or months, I'm just like, I'm done. I can't. I gotta like work my way back into it. So
dang it, man. So yeah, Arma, I put on the video of us. Look at this sexy cowboy driving this Logi truck, man. That's crazy.
Oh, my private server, the Vietnam one I was talking to you about beforehand, I put more cowboy hats into it. So just in case you want to check it out, fight in Vietnam against the Viet Cong wearing a cowboy hat.
I do appreciate that. I guess if we are just really quickly, I talked about it a little bit last week. Just really quickly, if we're talking about odd games, I still have like a interesting obsession with watching No Man's Sky content now with that new update. And then I got into like how they made it and stuff, and it's so crazy. There's like trillions of planets because it's procedurally generated now. And they added all these new biomes and stuff and a whole new lighting system. And the game's been out a long time. And, you know, like it released, like everyone hated it, thought it was a scam. Yeah. And then they just buckled down over like 10 years. But then I found out that Hello Games is making like a giant MMO called Light No Fire.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they're putting in to make trillions of planets in No Man's Sky, they're making an actual Earth-sized map, like 1-to-1 Earth-sized map.
RPG type fantasy game.
It's a fantasy game. It's like not our kind of thing, but like just like that engineering and that feat. And then it's like normally you'd be like, yeah, right. But then it's like these are the people that turn No Man's Sky into like just an insane game now. Like they're gonna pull this off. It's gonna be kind of crazy. And this time they've been working on Light No Fire for like 5 years before they even talked about it. So they've been cooking on it for a long time. And yeah, it's not an FPS game, but we were kind of talking about stuff.
I just want to see that tech into like a combined arms game. Just give me that. Have you ever tried Planets? I know we're talking about random games right now, but have you ever tried Planet Side?
I know what you're talking about, though.
I've seen the gameplay, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually one of the first games I started making content on the channel, and that was like by far some of the coolest FPS battles I've ever been a part of. So
that was like the MMO.
Still getting updates. It's like
it was
because you can build bases, you can work together. You know, work together with your team. Everything's all player driven. The battles go on for a day, sometimes weeks. You know. Just nonstop. I think even months sometimes if they've gone on that long. So it's like you'll log off, come back in, and some territory will be taken, but another part will be gone. So it's insane. It's insane.
It is.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. But yeah, if you did something like that with an FPS game where like every map was different because it was procedural. I know like 6 Days in Fallujah has like procedurally generated like buildings and interiors and stuff, which is pretty cool. But like
small scale, it's possible.
If you could put it on this
tough.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could put it on this scale of like a No Man's Sky to where like every map is like a different planet,
guess what? It's probably gonna get DDoSed.
That's why we can't have nice things around here. We're looking
Why,
at you,
dude,
Russia,
dang it,
right?
Russia. Yeah, yeah. Well, Russians specifically, not the country of who knows?
Hey,
Maybe Putin's in his
careful.
office
All right.
just checking, YouTube or whatever it is in I think it's VK or whatever the heck in Russia, and then they look at it, what is this Reforger? And then they see Ukraine versus Russia. Get them,
Get him
could
out of
be. I
here.
don't know. Get him out of here.
So is
Yeah,
that's
it was a Chinese group, but there was Russians in the group, so it's so strange.
so what's so what that's what and for those of you playing at home, we're talking about Arma Reforger. We talked a little bit about it last week, but it's still getting DDoSed and essentially, Blue, correct me if I'm wrong, like getting held hostage, like they're demanding like ransom.
Yeah, so they went up from, I think it was like originally $300,000 worth of Bitcoin to now $800,000 worth of Bitcoin, and or if they were to input pro-Russian propaganda into Reforger, they would stop doing it. As
It's
of right,
it's
yeah.
Reforger. They can mod it in themselves. Like you can put
Yeah, I was
whatever
like,
you
just
want.
yeah, Riot
Like
was in a homie show saying just like, yeah, just
it's
go
Arma
make a
Reforger.
server and make it a pro-Russian server if you want. It's all modded, but they blame
Kind of funny.
Bohemia for allowing it, I guess. So it's fucking stupid, but it's just right now it's okay. I have no wood, so if it goes down, my fault. But this weekend was rough, and we even tried to launch the SOCOM mod server on Friday. We had Abel was gonna come join, Riot was gonna come join, I was gonna stream it, a bunch of people were gonna make videos on it, and then just it got shut down because the servers would go down. People couldn't. So, like specifically, the Reforger website would go down, which means the workshop would go down, which means people couldn't download mods to join servers unless they were already in. So, if you were like already in the game playing, you were fine. But if you got out and then you came back in and there was a mod that was out of date or just by like one version, you would basically be out of luck. So, and of course, then all the servers started getting just stupid high ping, like 290, or there was like 299 plus, it break the counter on every single server. So yeah, that kind of sucked. It sucked really bad for us because we were so excited to finally be like, all right, we bought the server. Let's go show it to the public. Here you go. We went and like messaged everyone we could. We were like, hey, it's finally up. Oh, sweet. All right, I'll check it out. And people were messaging us like, where's the server? Where'd it go? And it's just like,
Dang,
Reforge getting DDoS. Can't fix that. Nothing we can do. So
that's really lame.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, right now it's okay. This weekend was pretty bad. I think this weekend was the worst of it. I mean, it's crazy though. It didn't really drop the player count as much as I thought it would. People were still just trying to get in and play the game, which is kind of crazy to think that the want and I guess need for a game like this, especially because this is cross-platform, PC and Xbox and PlayStation on official. Plus, on top of that, I think Bohemia Interactive wanted to go ahead and start pushing mods out to PlayStation, but they couldn't because they were getting DDoSed.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
it's like they were, and then on top of that, the PlayStation servers went down too. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
For like
As
24
well.
hours almost, or
Yeah,
right
so I
in
was like,
there.
damn, did Reforger like spill over into the PlayStation network? Like,
He got in
they
there.
just went like, we're going after everyone. So, yeah, that was just bad timing for everyone. So, yeah, well, we're gonna try to do another launch this Saturday, but we'll see because I know this Friday's Valentine's Day, all that fun stuff. So,
It is.
yeah, just
It is.
I got
No,
you. I reminded you. I got you.
I still
it's
got 4 days.
it's also your anniversary, Crash.
Ah, I would never put those on the same time. That would be not good.
But yeah, you'd forget it twice.
Oh yeah, you forget that it's over.
But yeah,
GG's.
so
That'll be your last anniversary.
we'll see what happens. I do kind of. I feel like we should talk about it now instead of quick shots of like the battlefield
For
game
sure.
mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because like holy crap, is it cool? Like I don't
What
know
have
if
you What have you guys seen
Right.
on it?
I
let me
just
bring
saw
up
the
the tweet
trailer
too.
that Tacti and Arma also reposted.
Yeah, the fact that like Arma posted it as well
Hmm.
too, which is dope. Like
Really
Bohemia
cool.
Interactive.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know, it's modded into Reforger for it's called Arma Field. So it's just like a battlefield mode in Arma, and you can. It looks like I don't know if it's out yet. I think it is, right? And you can
It's out.
do your
Oh,
classes and
wrong thing.
everything. So
It's out currently, but it's also still like pretty early in testing wise.
mm,
It is called
yeah.
Arma Field and there's only one server and it happens to be EU as well.
Yeah,
So
okay. So it's gonna be like impossible to get in right now until it's
I tried to get in earlier today to get some footage and I just kept getting like error 6 stalled and like spawning in
mm,
an ocean. But last night at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like, I can't sleep. Let me just and I saw the tweet. It's like, let me go see what's up. And there was only like 6 of us in the server. And I ran into a friend, funny enough, just like I'm like, hey, like, is that you? He's like, dude, what are you doing here? I was like, having someone I haven't spoken to in a while because he's a big Battlefield fan too. And yeah, so it was cool because it's like it has the Battlefield 3 UI, it has the squad UI, the map UI, out of bounds, weapons. It's got a loadout screen that's very similar to Battlefield 3. And on top of that, it pretty much has like conquest style points. You go up to it, you capture it, you can spawn on the points as well too, which is really cool. Um, it still mechanically plays like plays like Reforger. So, it's like if you get shot in the leg, you'll start walking, but there is regenerative health as well too. But there's no right now the assault class doesn't have the medic kit, doesn't have the medic bag, the
mm,
support doesn't have the support bag. So it's still like a work in progress. And then I asked the team, I was like, hey, is it possible? Because I would completely switch my server over just so I can run this mod for 64 players.
right.
But right now it is only available to PC currently, is what they're testing it on first. And they have a bunch of apparently back end stuff that they have that they're keeping basically to themselves until they know it's ready. So right now it's only one server. It's really mainly for testing, but I will say shooting someone and then seeing the kill feed on the top right of like the names, and all you need to do is maybe just put some like hit markers and possibly some Battlefield music in the background, and it's pretty much Battlefield and Arma, which
That's
Yeah,
is
awesome.
like that's
yeah.
so funny too. They made like a trailer with like a bunch of explosions and stuff, like a Battlefield trailer. I'm showing
Hmm.
it now if you're an audio listener, but like
Oh
they
yeah,
just made like it's a really funny trailer. All
yeah. But it's funny
explosions
because
and
it's like it's cool, but then like the real trailer should be like disconnect and errors and hyping and stuff like that. So it's like kind of like a 2042, but I get it. It's super early. I mean, they have everything from your assault class, engineer class, support, and sniper or recon. And they actually have them like dressed up as like the engineer has like the ball cap with uh the ear pros, and then like the assault class is the helmet. The Russian side has their own stuff. It's really cool. So
That's awesome.
and yeah, the map is like custom too. Like if you go too far off, the you get the same screen the Battlefield 3 has, where it's like it starts, hey, return, you're out of bounds and you'll die in like 10 seconds. So it's like it's really interesting to see. So it's fun. It still plays like Reforger. It's kind of like King of the Hill. Oh, and then on top of that, they have their own XP system, which also I think needs work, where you earn XP in the server and then you can unlock attachments. But how they do it, it's like a cash system. So you earn XP. I think I earned like it was only like 1,500 XP. You earn like 150 per capture point. I think maybe like 100 per kill, something like that.
Nice.
Um, and but when you get a new attachment for a weapon, it spends the XP. So it's like a cash system instead of like just you unlock it gradually. So
Mm,
we'll
yeah.
see if that changes. I mean, the fact that they did so much so far right now where it's at, it's like, okay. I also wonder how long they've been working on this as well,
Yeah.
too.
It looks crazy.
Yeah, it looks
Like
really fun.
Yeah.
that's wild to think of the like
Yeah.
just how they
But it's
did that.
5-player squads. I mean, there enters VoIP for both
Nice.
enemy and friendly because it's Reforger, so you can talk shit to the enemy as you're fighting them.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it's something you don't think about. Like, I never put that together that somebody could do that, and that's why games with user-generated content are always so cool to me. Like what people did with Halo Forge and what people are doing with this is so sick. And
Yeah.
like the ingenuity to make like their own kind of XP system for unlocking attachments, like that's crazy. And then if you even go further and think about it, like man, they could like the amount of content and maps, they could build out so much, man. They could build
Yeah,
anything.
and it's just like a small section of the main Everon map, which is like this huge giant island. So they could just keep separating that into multiple ones. And then if they want to start making their own maps or recreations of classic iconic Battlefield maps in the future, it'd be cool to see um all kinds of different, dude, if I saw Firestorm in Reforger, that
Right.
whew,
That'd be
I want to
awesome.
see Operation Metro in there with Prox chat, everybody down in
Oh
the
my
subway yelling at
oh
each
gosh.
my
other.
gosh, dude, that'd be so hilarious. Just
uh,
like,
That'd be a
go ahead,
nightmare.
put
all
your
the
so I dare you, and just the slurs that would
all
be
the screaming
thrown for
and the
sure.
slurs, and it just be
The
hilarious.
screaming and the
Man.
slurs, yeah. So I just but again, it's like it plays like Reforger. So like I was running around, like I almost got transport. I even re-downloaded Battlefield 3 just to start playing it again. Um, I was like trying to run around like it's Battlefield, but it's not. So it's like you got to take it slow. You got to go around. You got to take your corners. You can hear footsteps really well. So it's still pretty fun though. It's basically just King of the Hill, but with a Battlefield UI on top of it.
Yep, that's cool. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, hopefully Bohemia can get a handle on the DDoSing thing, man. That sucks.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like I'm sure this could have been popping off even more. I mean, I just heard about it recently because of Tacti, so I don't know how much more people will be talking about it in the future. But
About like the DDoSing
well, about this Battlefield mod
or the
specifically.
Battlefield mod.
So it's
Oh,
like it
it's gonna
hasn't
be huge.
yeah, it's like it hasn't picked up yet, but I'm pretty sure like in the next couple of days that server will get full, which is good for them because there's a lot of
Yeah.
feedback. But
Yeah, no, it'll flip out. Like that's
yeah,
gonna be
and then we're
wild.
waiting for another 50Q. Like it's oof.
It'll be a big queue. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
WCS big. Is WCS still cranking? Like people are still into it?
Yeah, yeah, it's even crazy. Even there in the DDoS, like there were still people just trying to get in and play, and they didn't care if they had to keep restarting. It's crazy how like dedicated some of these players are for this game. Like and again, this is just piece. I'm because I know we kept talking about the Steam charts, but like just for PC alone, we are now looking at 14,000. It hit another all-time peak of 22. Couple when was it? About the beginning of January or end of January. So it's and that's just on PC. That I think Xbox and PlayStation they said over like 700,000 consistent players, which is kind of freaking insane. Or
Yeah, that is
copies
wild.
sold, I should say, copies sold, and then there was like 100,000 consistent per console, something like that. So
That is crazy. Hmm. That's Arma.
that's Battlefield and Arma, and
You want to
now I
talk
want to know
about
more about actual Battlefield.
Battlefield? Battlefield, the hype is back.
Battlefield,
Buff, I don't know if you heard
we're
this, but
back.
we should all be immediately pre-ordering.
Yeah,
I saw your
I already
tweet
pre-ordered.
and I loved it. It was like that was a test, and I was like,
Most people passed. Some people got mad. So those of you who didn't see it or don't follow me on X, I just sent out a tweet. I was gonna do a little trolling. I wanted to do a little trolling. I just said, "Are pre-orders live for Battlefield yet?" Or like, where can I pre-order? And yeah, the comments were as fun as you think they'd be. People like, no, but I can't wait. And then other people like, you idiot. After what they did to us, I can't believe you're doing that. And then I retweeted and said, this is a test. So I just was getting some feelers out there, seeing how they were doing, how they were cooking there. But there have been some more tweets recently from David Serland, everybody's potential savior of the franchise that everybody's excited about, hopefully. I'll just go over a couple of these because they admittedly do sound pretty nice. Someone tweeted him and said, "I'm not trying to spam you. I'm just passionate about Battlefield, but the voice lines from BF3 and Operation Metro and Locker server browser, and please bring the guns back from Bad Company 2, BF4. They need to sound punchy. Thank you and hope you reply." And he said, "Punchy is a good word." So,
yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah. I
Audio. Love it.
I like that. Yep.
And then someone replied to his tweet and said, "Glad to have you back working on Battlefield. Is it too early to speak about optimization and target FPS? I hope the game will run well and not just depend on upscaling or frame gen." Great question, Jackie. David responds. He says, "It's never too early or too late to talk performance. The goal is to allow for the best possible latency of gameplay at the largest of scales. We are doing things we haven't done before to achieve that. More details in the labs build, and we'll discuss specifics later on." So you can take this one of two ways. You can be completely excited and all in on Battlefield and say, "Oh, it's going to be well optimized. Look, they're already working on optimization." And then I'm going to be like, "Hey, ding dong. Like they had optimization teams. They had hundreds of people working on optimization for Battlefield 2042. Just because they're working on optimization doesn't mean it's going to be optimized." And they also said that they're doing things that they haven't done before. So I thought that was interesting. But I will also say DLSS 4 is something that they haven't done before. And I am with Jackie on this one over on X that, dude, frame gen ain't it for FPS games. Like it's like the DLSS stuff, the frame generation, FSR, all that stuff sucks for FPS games because it just adds latency. Anytime the GPU is interpolating frames to make new ones, it adds input delay every time, no matter what. And dude, it's not good. So I'm really hoping that it's not in there. I'm sure you can turn it off like every other game, but that's like the first thing I do, like Arena Breakout, turn it off, Gray Zone. I actually have to run it in Gray Zone, but I did. Gray Zone was the only one I left it on, but like, yeah, I just always find where I can turn DLSS off because it sucks. It makes it look crappy and delayed. So hopefully that's not coming to Battlefield. But he's been still answering people on X, and of course, like I think Blue said this, like they're gonna say the right things. Like up until launch, the marketing's gonna be insane. Like the
Yeah.
trailers are gonna be lit. Like it's gonna be tough not to get sucked into the hype train.
Battlefield Labs is doing it right, at least. Hopefully, if they, depending. I know I saw some tweets out there that were like, depending on how Battlefield Labs goes, or
Yep.
yeah, it's like it will be my deciding factor if I pre-order. And another one said like, if I don't get it, I'm not pre-ordering. So it's just like, we'll just have to wait and
I
see.
wouldn't hold your
until
breath, man. They had didn't they tweeted
Millions.
out today? How many was it? Like
I
Millions.
don't know.
I don't
I
remember.
gave up. I missed my chance. I was so close, and then I had to leave for an hour or two. I came back and I lost my spot, and I was like, "Damn it!"
Oh, they
I was
said
like,
he did tweet today
wasn't
that
gonna
you
get
can
back in
still
anyways.
sign up. There's no queue now, and it's not. They don't choose people by the order in which you submitted. So
Okay.
you it's still be worth signing up for.
Interesting. Okay.
What was I gonna find? Because I can't remember.
FedEx says it was 1.3 million who signed up for Battlefield Labs.
1.3
people
Which
million.
sounds low
people
because
just
I
wanna-
was in a queue for like behind like 500,000 people for 2 days. So I don't know.
I mean, there's probably people just like gave up or
Yeah.
did what I did, that they were in the queue and went to sleep, came back, and they lost their spot maybe or something like that. So who knows? But
Right.
I mean, I really hope, because they kept saying, and Vince specifically said that they're going to be doing a lot more extensive testing. This is going to be they said most tested Battlefield game in the entire series, what I remember hearing.
Yeah, they're saying everything great. It just comes down to execution. Like the Battlefield Lab sounds great on paper, and if they use it to its full potential, it will be. If they actually test, they actually implement changes. They get to tests going ASAP because they're presumably like 8 months from launch or something like that, probably 8 or 9 months from launch. So let's get her rolling, Vince. We know you're listening, dude. Get it cooking, brother. But yeah, 1.3 million players signed up for it, and this is what I said. And even the graphic that they posted, on Battlefield Bulletin says Battlefield still has poll. That's what I'm saying, man. Like the franchise is just so storied that people are always going to check it out and always be hyped for it when there's a new one, just because
Yeah,
of the potential that's there. But I
it's the
am worried.
potential. Exactly.
EA did say in like the earnings call and stuff that they thought the Veilguard game, Dragon Age or whatever, failed because it didn't have live service. So you can bet your ass that this Battlefield is going to be live serviced out the ass. Like the days of
Yeah.
premium are gone, and potentially the days of server browsers are gone, and that's going to be a huge bummer. So just brace yourself for that. It's still going to be just a map or two a season, I bet, and a lot of skins. So
It's like I want to, because I feel like the gameplay. I think you're right, because it could be like the gameplay will be amazing or mechanics wise, but then when it comes to content itself, will be very lackluster
big wild
in
card.
terms of actual maps and vehicles. It'll just be like, again, skins for the same weapon. So
Yep.
it's more the higher ups that make these calls, and people keep saying, well, it's not the same team as the original Battlefield, which is like fair, because I don't know their track record, but I
It's
think even if the devs were passionate about making a truly good Battlefield, I think
I agree.
the shareholders will look at it and be like, but this game company's making a couple more million doing this. Why aren't we doing that? Put it in the game. And then they gotta somehow
I really
rush
hope
it.
not, because I think that's exactly what happened with 21 or 2042. And I also think it's probably a little bit of what happened with Battlefield 5 to a certain degree.
In the beginning, yeah.
It is just crazy that they pulled, they ended support for Battlefield 5 at a time where it was starting to turn around, pulled everyone off on the next project, and the next project that they gave us was 2042.
Yep.
So,
They
yeah,
even did it for Battlefront 2, and it was just, again, towards the end of its cycle, like when they finally got it going, they just said we're stopping.
right. Yeah, it's pretty weird. I mean, who knows? I really do hope everything they're saying here does turn out to be like honest and actually happen, because the gameplay snippets that we saw and went over last week on the show looked really good. Like we talked about, it looked like a Battlefield 3
Yeah.
in modern day.
I
Um,
did see
so,
someone breaking down that trailer though.
mhm.
I think I forgot who it
I
was.
think Level Cap did one. I didn't watch it yet though.
Level Cap, but it was one guy that went through and found some potential similar spaces
Karkand.
in Karkan. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
So
yeah,
what are they saying? Like they're
they're
reusing it?
saying that map is actually back to Karkan
That'd
on the
be
trailer.
that'd be amazing. Either
There
that
was
or
like
they're reusing the
the
assets.
tunnel with like the pillars on the right side. There's almost an exact copy in Battlefield 3 there. So it's like, you know, it could be coming back. It's not for sure confirmed, but it's yeah, I think it was Flagfire. Yeah, I think it was Flagfire I saw.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, pretty good dudes. They went back and they were like, okay, this is where the tank was going down this street, possibly, perhaps. Of course, the Battlefield 3 buildings look way different than in that one, way less detailed. Some of the buildings that were square in Battlefield 3 were more rounded and more realistic in the teaser trailer. So it's like maybe, but the one thing that sold me was specifically that tunnel shot with the players running through and the pillars on the right getting blown up. It was like damn near like exact. Just all you would need to do is put a couple different details
Hmm.
and also get rid of the blue filter as well too. So
I think that's what we speculate that last week we even said it looked just like Kargand. We
yeah,
were
and there
saying
was
that.
even like a crater where the guy came up and shot the RPG. And in Flack's video, he was saying that like there's a spot that looks very similar to where there's a
Hmm.
building there and there's a crater right there, and it almost looks like if you were to just recreate it, you could almost go back and go like a one-to-one
That's
comparison. But
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
but
I would I
we'll
would love
see.
to see that map and some other. I mean, I've been just a couple pages I follow on Twitter X is just all like showing different like screenshots from like different action pieces on Battlefield 3 maps and 4 maps, just going through them. And I'm just like looking at the Battlefield 3 maps and just how good they were. Battlefield 4 had great maps, but I think Battlefield 3 had the superior maps for sure. And they had a lot of Battlefield 2 maps that they brought in too for some of those DLCs. So I do hope I did see a tweet on this. I responded like, I hope we get a really nice mix of new maps, but I would really like to see. And typically, Battlefield does do this: is bring back like a lot of the fan favorite maps. But it'd be good to just bring back as many Battlefield 3 and 2 maps as you can because those were classics.
Yeah.
Agreed. I broke the overlay.
Good job, Crash.
Nice.
Thanks, man. I'm doing what I can out here.
Our production team. Maybe we should blame the production team.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, those idiots.
Trying to find
Why
that
won't it let
video
me
again.
edit it?
I remember the first time when I first started watching you do this podcast, Crash, like when you started, and I would just like tune in before I ever came on or joined. And you'd always just be like, man, the production team and like I thought you were like serious and working with the
I
production
used to
team.
think
I
the
was like,
same thing.
like,
I
You used
am. I
to
have
like
a-
because when no one was there to like be sarcastic with you, it would just be you.
yeah.
And I'd be like, we're probably blowing someone's mind right now. It's like, wait a minute, there's no production team? What do you mean?
Yeah. I was like, man, he really like I wonder who
We just
he
gave the
hired for
secret.
this. It
Sorry.
was
Sorry, we
terrible.
gave
Just
away the
hammering
secret.
this guy, this poor guy.
Oh, it was Doom 49 who made the video, not Flagfire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Doom's good.
Yeah, I'm actually Doom. I'm sure you'll be okay. I feel like maybe the production team might show this because it's just like it's very interesting. Like the
Maybe.
person who showcased it was just like it was in his Discord specifically. It was apparently a leaked screenshot or something like that. Of potential Karkan locations. So,
Nice.
but specifically, it was just a few of the locations that was just like, dang, yeah, that might be exactly where it happened. So
I fixed it. I mean, the
Fixed
production
it.
team fixed it.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, if
This
you go
is
to
exactly why
109, if you go to 109 in the video, you'll see the part where I'm like, oh yeah, that has to be it.
Oh man, Battlefield 3 had the 30 round extended mag for the Val. So good.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, audio listeners, but
Sorry.
go check out shout out Doom 49. Go check his video out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty sick. That's awesome.
So
Great news.
We'll
Although
see.
it's hard to tell. This looks like single. The pre-alpha stuff they showed looked almost like single player, or maybe they just removed the HUD, which is why you're not seeing like player names and all that stuff. Who knows? But yeah, I mean that definitely
Yeah.
looks like Harkened for sure. That's the same buildings and everything, and the destruction there. Oh, I just noticed that guy in the window there too that he hit with the RPG.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't die, but it's so much smoke. So like, I wonder if there's
Yes.
like a knockback animation like there was in Battlefield 5.
Yeah, this was a great
explosion is
map.
nearby.
I loved Conquest on this map. So fun. The amount of just hours I put into Battlefield 3 in general, but just a lot of good memories. That's what I'm saying. Like the Battlefield moments that stick on my head are always Battlefield 3 because the map design was so well done, and you can just see walking through the map here. Like this is a 2011 game, and this map and this is a Battlefield 2 map. So this map itself is like what 2005, right? I think was BF2
mid 2000s.
So
So
obviously
even
they
older, then
updated it,
remastered,
but
and it still looks good in 2025.
yeah, like this looks. Yeah, this is great in Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
I had so much
Like if
fun
you zoom
playing this.
in, you start seeing like some of the weird pixelation of the text and stuff like that. But I mean, from an overall view, and it's not even just like you don't need Unreal Engine graphics. You just need a good atmosphere, and they
Right.
nailed it with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, they did. This is a great map. So hopefully that is true and it's coming back because that would be awesome. I would love to play this map and a bunch of the other Battlefield 2 and 3 maps.
Dude, that's another big thing that in chat can Kazazia. Oh my god, I'm mispronouncing your name so much. I'm so sorry. K, I'm calling you K. The nostalgia factor, because that
Right.
also was a huge factor of Battlefield 2042 in their teaser trailers and their
Hmm.
marketing.
And for the
Like, yeah.
portal.
Oh my gosh. Well, even just that, but just like the music that they chose,
Yeah.
for the fans, the Rendazook moment that they showcased. I mean, yeah, it was they really try to pull on our heartstrings. So I really hope they're not trying to do that as well too.
You can also just see here with the Battlefield 3 footage, like this looks, maybe I'm
It
just
feels like,
biased, but this is
well, it
that's
looks like
Battlefield. Like
it
that's
looks like the teaser too, but it's like, again, like in the teaser, there's palm trees in certain areas. The street looks a little bit wider. I don't think that's
I thought there
campaign
was
footage because it's
palm
just so.
trees on Karkand, no? In certain spots?
In
Yeah.
that on that specific street that he's showcasing, there are no
There was,
palm
okay.
trees.
Yeah, but
So it's like,
you can see them in different areas here on the Battlefield 3 footage,
yeah,
so it probably maybe if it
yeah.
is, in fact, Karkin just, obviously going through and adding more to the maps, which is the opposite of what they did with 2042, where it was just, like a clean environment that didn't look war torn, and you can see a huge difference here already with the pre-alpha footage we saw last week. So that's, and you can even that location, the hallway, right? Battlefield 3, like it's got a lot of details there, and then you can just see it's stepped up, to 1,000 in this pre-alpha footage, if that is in fact the same hallway, which it does appear to be in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped. I hope I get in to do some playtesting, or at
Oh,
least we
Pre-order.
start seeing some
don't do it.
Battlefield
footage.
Don't
hype.
do it.
It's so back.
No, don't do it. there
So
was a
back.
there was a video that
It's
Tacti
like
put that on Twitter that for one of his videos, like Battlefield 6 needs to look at Battlefield again. And there was a certain clip that
Yes, I laughed at
on
that so
yeah,
much.
I think I saw you tweet comment on that too. It was
Mhm.
like, at 18 seconds you played a Tarkov clip. He's like, that's I was like, brother, that's Battlefield 4. That was Zavod.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
that means like that
hilarious.
was just such a good looking map and lighting scenario that you thought it was Tarkov.
Well, and that's the funny thing is, like, Battlefield needs to look and feel like Battlefield again. The guy said you put a Tarkov clip in there, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like,
exactly. Like,
who's
dude,
gonna
that's
tell bro that
Battlefield 4.
Battlefield isn't a milsim? It's like, we never said it was a milsim. Not once did we ever say Battlefield is a milsim,
Yeah,
but it
and
needs to
that
be realistic in the
and
atmosphere
right,
and
and
the lore and the
and
gear.
And that was Teddy's point. I think he even said it in his reply, like, "This is exactly what I'm talking about." It's like a lot of people don't even, maybe you didn't play the Battlefield games back then, but don't even realize what Battlefield was at its peak. You just only
That's
played like
another thing too. There's so
1,
many people
5,
that
and
like
42.
argue. Yeah, they argue, and like I saw one that, I mean, he was a little bit younger, but he's like, yeah, I loved it when I played 2042 for the first time. So they're gonna like look at 2042 and
I
think
think that's
that's what
Battlefield.
Battlefield is, and it's just like,
I
oh
feel,
no,
yeah,
man.
I feel sorry. Battlefield 3 was peak Battlefield, and you'll never change my mind.
I mean, it's that what you're saying there is evident in just us because I started gaming later. I think Battlefield 1 is amazing. Like, because that's my first one that I played a
Right.
lot of time into. I
Well,
put
so
Yeah.
even Battlefield 1 did it right of like just staying within the lore and the
Mhm.
atmosphere
Right.
of it, the era. They didn't start putting operators in a World War I game. So it's like,
With the goofy voice lines and stuff,
yeah.
yeah, but
And
I do
sure,
think.
it wasn't even a traditional campaign, but I know everyone remembers that tank mission.
Right, yeah, that was
And
the
how
last
like that
Tiger, yeah.
how dude, that was heartbreaking a little bit in some moments. Like, it was
Mhm.
very, very well done. So
I think, Crash, if you I know you said you went back and played 3, and I've had some people I've talked to have done the same, but if you played it when it came out, like, at its peak, just the gameplay loop, and it's when this game was thriving, was just unmatched. So I don't think I don't think any other Battlefield's captured what the gameplay loop was for Prime Battlefield 3. 4 came pretty close with some of the maps, but again, I think the map design in 3 was just better. And I did really enjoy 1, and they did a good job keeping it immersive and like Blue said, but you really peak Battlefield 3 when it was thriving and you had full servers, rent a servers, everything going on, like you just couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
Playing Metro with 1,000% tickets, so we'd be having like 2-hour Metro games. It was crazy. It was so fun.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, for a console game, I was almost unheard of back then.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Battlefield originally was PC only,
Only PC,
you
yeah,
know?
with Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2 and
Two.
what
Yeah.
2142. Those were all PC.
And
It didn't come to
2142.
console till Bad Company was the first console release of Battlefield.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing. I
Or
don't want a
I
bad
lied.
company.
Battlefield 2 Modern Combat was the first Battlefield release, and that was the first Battlefield that I had played.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. Also, I know someone said in the chat of like, do you want a Battlefield 3 campaign or a Bad Company campaign?
Right,
I
right.
I do think in terms of like storyline and characters, Bad Company 1 and 2 take the cake, but I think we don't need that right now in this next campaign because this game is gonna have a campaign as well too. So I'm curious what
Yeah.
this
They're
Battlefield
very
game is gonna
different
have
tones,
in the
though. I
future.
think yeah, they're very different tones. Like Bad
It
Company
is, and that's
was
why I think we should stick with like
comedy.
a Battlefield 3 esque campaign instead of a
Yeah.
Bad Company one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need something like gritty, which is why I like the Battlefield 3 story because it was very serious and there was you felt like there was a lot at stake, and I think the way they did that campaign, like you felt like you were in the middle of this hunt for the missing WMDs, and some of those missions were just so iconic. And
Oh,
I love the
we're
Bad Company
playing
campaign.
with Dima as well too.
Dima,
Like that
yeah,
was
that
yeah.
mission where you halo jump. Oh my god, as a Spetsnaz,
Dude,
and
when I
taking
was
off on
making
a
a little
character.
edit I made just on Twitter, like going back and like seeing like Armored Killed trailer footage, the release
Yeah,
trailer footage, and just going back through all that, I was like, oh yeah, this
peak.
I started getting excited though.
Yep.
I was like, don't do it. Because then
That
like
exactly.
my expectations, my hopes are going up higher.
Oh, it's
And
so hard.
I start reminiscing. I'm like, oh man, I remember when Battlefield was good. Oh, they're
Yeah.
saying all the right things. They said it on 2042. I gotta like slap myself sometimes to kick myself out of that situation. Like, oh
You
man,
Yeah.
need to
all
have
I
a
want is a
support
good
group.
Battlefield game.
That's why I got to be careful
Yeah, I
because
do. I need one. I'm out here playing Battlefield on Arma, hoping I can get like let me get a
that
taste, man.
experience.
Let me just get one taste, please. Let me get it. Let me.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like scratching over here,
You just
dude.
can't beat playing with your buddies in a squad on Battlefield 3 was just stupid fun. Like I played. Yeah, if I could go back and see, I probably can still log in the battle log if it's up and see the hours I put into that game. It
I've
was
and
insane.
that's another thing too. I was talking to a friend yesterday. He's like, "How many times did you buy Battlefield?" I was like, "I technically bought Battlefield 3 twice and Battlefield 4 twice." That's how much I enjoyed it. And on top of that, I bought Battlefield 3 basic, just regular edition, and then I upgraded to premium on the 360, and then I bought it again on PC. And then I also bought Battlefield 4 on Xbox One, bought the premium version, and then I bought it on PC as well. So it's like that's how much I enjoyed
Yeah.
both of those games. I was willing to pay twice the amount.
hmm Yeah. Those are great games.
I couldn't dare do that to 2042. I did the trial for EA Play, and then
Yeah,
I canceled it.
I
That's
was
all I did.
stupid and Crash and I were dumb and pre-ordered the most expensive version, I think. But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
that's why I need to temper my expectations because I'm expecting Battlefield 3 basically that's kind of what I've always just like hoping they come back to that. So I'm always
Yeah.
expecting Battlefield 3.
Well, again,
I hope
this
they
is
deliver
Crash's
something
perfect
close to
game.
that.
If it's just Battlefield 5 mechanics in a modern setting, I think that would be a great game as well too. I think that'd be
Yeah,
a really
I
good
think
Battlefield game as
everybody would
well.
be happy with that.
They
Yeah.
won't do it.
They won't. But I mean,
There's gonna be some
see,
kind of
oh
weird
god,
movement thing in there. There's gonna be something weird, and then there's gonna be tons of ooh woo Hello Kitty things, and it's
Yeah,
just
but I mean, like we said last week, that doesn't belong in Battlefield.
it'll
And
be there.
with a modern setting like this, you have so much content to pull from. If they went that route with goofy stuff, that is just lazy development, in my opinion, because you have for battle passes and seasons, you should release like a different faction, country, special forces group with all class skins, different skins for those classes, countries' weapons, countries' vehicles, and maps, and all that stuff. Like, there's so much content to pull from in a modern game, which is really frustrating with the route that Call of Duty went. Because you look at Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2019, they did like the mill some stuff in the seasons, and they did a good thing, and it was semi-balanced, and then they went the other route. So with Battlefield, they're doing a modern setting. There's no excuse to go with goofy Fortnite stuff. I don't
I'm
think that belongs in a Battlefield game. That's not what Battlefield ever has been, and it shouldn't be. And I think that the core audience of Battlefield doesn't want that, and I think it's proof with how the community's rejected the games recently, that they don't want that crap in
too
games,
bad.
and they want good games. So
Too bad.
I'm
I mean,
telling you, Buff.
you saw the backlash with they had that Santa Claus skin for 2042 that they
Yeah, but
released.
there's
And
way more kiddies with credit cards that buy skins in COD that they're going after in Fortnite. Like, and it's just gonna happen. The HK in HK 416 stands for Hello Kitty. Let's go. Like, it's gonna be bad.
yeah,
I think it's gonna be bad. I'm gonna prepare for the
I
worst and hope for the best.
I hope not. Dude,
That's basically what
that's I think the
that's
worst part about live service is they just like, how do we make money and release crap like that. So I hope they don't.
It's so hard for them not to push that button. Like
Yeah.
like Hello Kitty skin. It's an easy like 1.2 million. Push the button.
Leather sex suit, like the rose skin and crazy stuff. Like, let's release gimp skins.
But no, I'm just
what we said. Just expect the worst. Hope for the best. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
They
even
have a
hard to
lot.
hope
They have
for
a
the
lot.
best.
They have a lot. Yeah, they have a lot to make up for with the fan base. So I think they would be stupid to do anything like that until later seasons. If anything, they need to deliver a good Battlefield game before they get into crazy crap like that.
all right. We got a little bit of time left. Talk about Rainbow Six Siege 2 or X potentially.
Question mark?
Yeah.
So
They're
if
coming
you
out a whole
guys-
new game, right?
Yeah, that would work great. It worked great for Overwatch and CS:GO. They love their sequel. So we talked about this last year around this time, because every time in February we have the Rainbow Six Siege International, the World Championships for Rainbow Six Siege. I watch a ton of it. It's 2 weeks of awesome Siege. I get excited to play the game. I even hopped in a little this weekend and played some Siege. Dang it. Because it's still, if you had to pick like a favorite game, like the times I've had, it's probably Siege. I've put the most hours into Siege of any shooter probably. I put more hours into Battlefield as a franchise, but like a singular title, it's probably Siege. It's been around forever. So it's going into year 10. There was a post from Insider Gaming that says Rainbow Six Siege 2 reveal coming at SI 2025. So this weekend they are going to talk about what's coming in year 10. I just want to say, if you listen to the show, we talked about this last year, because Alex Karpazis, who's the lead developer or lead designer on Rainbow Six Siege in charge over there, said that something big is, someone asked him on the panel, is there going to be a Rainbow Six Siege 2? And he said that didn't work he said something about how that hasn't worked out lately. That was off the heels of the mixed reviews from CSGO 2.0 and the essential, if you look at player numbers, failings of Overwatch 2. He said it didn't work out for others. So there's not going to be a Rainbow Six Siege 2, but they're planning something really big for year 10. So what I think is going to happen, and what I said back then, and I still pretty much stand by it, is I think there's going to be a massive engine overhaul. And according to this leak, I'll see what you guys think of this. This leak on there says it's going to be called, allegedly revealed this month, it's not going to be called 2, it's going to be called Siege X, and will feature a complete engine overhaul, as long with a graphical upgrade in textures and the models. It's going to be in the season 2 update of year 10, is what they're saying. And I heard from other leaks online that it's going to the Snowdrop engine, the engine of the Division, as well as everyone's favorite first-person shooter, X Defiant, who couldn't figure out netcode in a shooter. That's the engine that they're using. So you can feel my apprehension. The other thing that's going to happen is if this does come out on Snowdrop and it works fine, like what was Xdefiant's problem? Like what were they even doing? I don't know. That's going to be interesting to watch and follow if it is on Snowdrop, like how it plays, if they figured it out. I was also perusing the internet for other leaks from seemingly reputable sources on Reddit. Someone also said that they've been working on it for 4 years already, the port over, and that's why several years ago there got to be less and less content each season because they've been pulling more and more people to work on the engine overhaul. So, what do you guys think? Siege 2, Siege X, Siege Remastered?
It's
Snowdrop?
about. I think it's about time, right? I remember they were supposed to release like a next gen version of that game, kind of like Sandstorm did on PS5, and I don't think they ever did that. Yeah, I mean it's a good game, obviously. So it's about. I think it's you go back and play it though, and it does feel, at least on consoles. I've never played it on PC. Consoles, it feels dated as far as just the movement in ways. So just even compared to like something like Sandstorm, right? So it's obviously popular, so you capitalize on that and give it an overhaul.
It's got to be, man, they got to nail it because Siege is one of those games with such a big player base. I mean, it's still over 60,000 Steam users. That's not counting Ubisoft Connect. I played on Ubi Connect. So you can probably maybe double that. And then tons of people played on console. So there's a lot of people who played it for a long time. They're going into year 10. So whatever they do, it's like CSGO, you know, they got to nail it. It's got to feel the same. People are going to be pissed. It's got to feel pretty similar. People are going to be mad. So yeah.
Right, because you want the player
crazy.
base to migrate. You don't want people to be staying on the original Rainbow Six and just being like, this is way better of a game. You know, you want everyone to you want it to be a seamless thing and everyone get over to it.
Yep. So we'll find out Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which, but either way.
I was just watching the drama with the one that apparently Bodega got
kicked out.
A penalty for 2 years, dude.
I was watching it. Well, he's already coming off a 1-year suspension, so he did something similar.
My gosh.
He did something similar 2 years ago. So one of the coaches got like heated and in a player's face a couple years ago and got banned, and then he did it again this time. So I can speak on this because I watched it happen live. It's for the team M80. That's the one. If you guys are Rainbow Six players, you guys probably know Spoit. He's a huge content creator, but he's also a pro on M80. The coach for M80 was whenever there's like technical pauses, like if the game's like getting rehosted, or there's a bug where they have to reset stuff, you can't coach your team. So he was taking that time to like talk to his team and stuff. So he got a warning, and then he kept doing it. And they actually took a round away in a crucial map. They took a whole round away from their team, like penalized him around, and he got ultra pissed. And then after the match was over, he walked right over to the other team and started getting in their face and like got of pushy with another player.
Jeez.
So like, and then they kind of cut away and the admin took him out. And I'm like, a couple of things I was like, man, on one side, it's like they don't want to show that kind of behavior, but I'm like, esports kind of needs stuff like this. Like, let it play. You know what I mean? Like,
let him fight. Let him fight.
Yeah, let him hash it out for the views. But yeah, so they ended up just like, since he's already done it, like a $5,000 fine and 2 years banned from the venues from ever coming to a esports pro. So he just essentially torched his career.
$10,000. They said it was a $10,000 fine.
I thought it was 5 to him and 5 to the manager.
I guess combined.
Yeah, I think
together. Yeah, that's what it was then. But then even the team manager got a minor misconduct penalty. So
yep,
like it went all the way up.
Jeez.
But I've always thought that with esports, it'd be cool, and they have done a better job lately of kind of getting some of those backstories. But if there ever is drama like that, it makes the matches so much more fun to watch. If there's like a rivalry and there's tension and stuff like that, like I wish not physical. No one should get assaulted like that.
But it's like Formula One when there's certain racers out there that have been competing and neck and neck the entire time throughout the entire season. Like and then there's some heated arguments here and there. It makes the race even more thrilling because then it's like you're dividing the fan base sometimes, and they're rooting for their guy, and then so same thing with that as well too.
Yep. I've always thought esports could use a little of that, get people involved. Because I think I've always thought like you in a lot of them, I guess Call of Duty tried to do it, but like with sports teams, you often have a city. A lot of times it's like geographical representation, like my city, my team, a lot of times. But like esports teams, like they just have random names. Like a lot of times they're just named after a sponsor. Like and no one like gets any like investment in these teams. Maybe a player or something who's a content creator, but there's just no reason to get invested into a match and root for somebody. And if they had more of these storylines that got out, I think it would help. But that's just one of my beefs with esports, I feel like. So
Yeah.
other than that, I don't know much else, boys.
Yeah, that
Oh, I
was pretty
got.
much it, really.
Yeah, we had a good discussion on everything. It was a good show.
It was a good program.
Very good.
Program.
Next week will be we'll at least know something about Siege 2. Are you gone next week, Blue, or the one after? Week after, right?
Next week I'll be here. The week after, yeah.
Okay. All right.
24th. Gotcha.
I'll be enjoying the Midwest cold.
Have fun,
Dude. It's getting wild here. We're supposed to have 6 to 8 inches of snow tomorrow night, and like
Wow.
6 degrees. So
This time in the year, is that normal? Or?
It's Kansas, like anything normal.
And
like
everything is normal, yeah.
It's being not normal is normal for us here.
Pretty much.
Because I mean, I feel like the weather in Kansas just goes off vibes, and kind of like where the jet stream feels like chilling above or below us, and it's crazy. Our weather's based on vibes.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, it's nice. So anyway, guys, I think that's a show. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's so cool that so many people show up and hang out with us on a dadgum Monday. It's pretty cool. And thank you to all the audio listeners who have been downloading it as well. If you guys want to help out, be a friend, tell a friend, share the video around, as well as if you are a podcaster, you have some gaming friends or whatever, and they need something to listen to on their commutes or while they're hanging out at work, shoot them a link to our Spotify or Apple. I put these shows at the latest, it's up by noon the next day. So I usually get them put up on the audio platforms the night of, get it cranked out for you guys. You got something to listen to the next day. So leave us a 5-star review if you get a second. Tons of free ways to help us out. Those are the main ones. Thank you guys. And thank you to Buff and Blue. And we'll see you guys next week.
Take care, everyone. Have a good week.